Welcome back to the maze where amazing things can happen. I am your host, Trey Brown. You know what I mean? I just wanted to clarify some things from my last video. I was told I was a grandpa. That was not intentional. Um, YouTube zoomed in. That was not my fault. Yes, I could not remember my third description word. Yes, you're absolutely right on that. Um, After further review, I should have chose strategic. Um, Shout out to my my friend that told me about that. That's absolutely right. Um, this episode is called this is episode dose. You know what I mean? Um, this this is the background of the title. Background of the title. Background of the cover. Background of the cover. Cover. We're gonna go with cover because this is the cover that has the title on it. You get me? So that's a bar, by the way. The background of the cover. Write that one down. I got a lot of bars for you guys. Um, I'm gonna start out with all episodes going forward. I'm going to do a check-in. Yes, you're in my room. It's my lovely bed. I have 5 pillows for no reason. Um, the check-in consists of a rating of 1 to 10 for your mental health, your physical, and business-wise. Um, let's start out with mental. Um, I say I'm about a 6 right now. Honestly, about a 6 is for some weird reason I've been feeling stuck, and it's been going on for quite a few weeks now. Um, but it happens every year, so I'm getting over this. This is a motivation. This is a a vulnerability stage, opening up, getting people into my world. That's why I called it the maze. So it's a maze of Trey. I find the mind to be a maze. That's why when you overthink and you don't grab yourself back to reality, you can get stuck. So it's a maze within itself, you know. Physical, I'll say a 6. Sadly, with this job, I can't go to the gym as I used to. So, uh, and I haven't really been trying to go to the gym, to be honest. So each day I come in, I just do small exercises in the house. But guess what? Consistency is what matters. The hardest part is starting, but consistency is the key to everything, right? Business wise, for some weird reason, somebody tried to scam me last week. Like right now, my account is saying I overdrew $7,698.48. Um, okay, so my bank is dealing with that. So yeah, fun stuff. But name of the game. Welcome to America. Welcome to the world. Scammers are out there. Shout out to my scammer friend, by the way. Hopefully it wasn't them. Um, so I'm gonna reveal the cover to you guys. A lot of people don't know how the cover looks. Some people do, and it's one of your paintings from yours truly. Um, this one is called, and I have a song. There you go. Can we talk? So this is not really called "Can We Talk," but this is called "Let's Talk." Ideally, it's a staircase. The staircase that you can see here. Yeah, you guys can see. So it's a staircase going up, and then at the top, you never know what can really go on, right? The concept behind this one is concept behind the name, behind the piece of let's talk. It's ideally you'd never know what's gonna happen when you get upstairs. So, for instance, when you're with your partner and you're just like, we need to talk, there's always a negative connotation to it, right? It could be good, could be bad. If it's a good connotation behind it, normally you get a warning and be like, hey, it's nothing bad. But majority of the time, it's um, when we say, let's talk, it's something bad going on. So, this is ideally a moon, a moon, a moon's sun in one. I didn't put it yellow. I wanted it to be a different color to like stand out. So behind one of the other concepts that's behind this is also what's in the light. What's in the dark must come to light. So in the back of the staircase is the darkness, right? But on the other side, there's light. So um, within this, within the darkness is rising, but the light is also coming in. So the more the is going to get this is gonna dissipate eventually, the darkness, right? So I would say a lot of things that people think about me are over here, but I don't make the light come in enough, I would say. So um this piece is called Let's Talk, and it's not even about the painting, but it's the words that I'm going to say. um Ideally, it's this one is kind of tough for me. um I didn't write I'm not gonna write this down. This is straight from the dome piece, right from the cranium, where the fun stuff happens. So welcome to the maze. Let's talk. Let's talk about I had I've had love 3 times but been in it twice. um People call me a tough cookie, but this cookie has been crumbling, right? That's a bar because one of my favorite cookies is actually called cookie company is called Crumble. It's pink. If you don't know, I'll put you onto that. Just like how I did Suits. So let's talk. Let's talk about Suits. When it first came out, 2011, I was in middle school. I told everyone about it, but I'm like at times I seem like I'm ahead mentally of things that grasp my attention, and then at a time people play catch up. So let's talk Suits. Suits is actually how I managed to get over my first panic attack. That panic attack happened summer 2016. To dive into that one, it was my first love at that time. She went away for college. She had a summer program, and we had we had a disagreement. We had a disagreement. We didn't talk for a few days. She actually put me onto my first job, which is a summer camp that was in Park Slope. While there, I know I was gonna see her, and prior to that, her birthday's before mine. Hers is June 23rd. Mine is July 4th. So I got her a gift. It was a necklace from Macy's. It was a it was a heart necklace, with like a slight spiral to the heart with like diamond crystals on it. I gave that to her, and she was working morning shift, and I was in the afternoon, and she came down the stairs. I was in the office. The moment I saw her without that necklace, I realized that that was the end of the relationship, and I literally just lost my crap. We got virgin ear, so I'm gonna I curse a lot at work, but we're gonna limit it. I'm gonna say I have 3 curses per episode. Let's go with that, right? I absolutely lost it. Like, mind you, this is like I'm around kids, everybody's running around and everything, and I'm just like zoned out. Heart started racing. I'm just like, yo, what's going on? Like I'm going through this while kids are running around me, and like not blocked out. I know everything that was going on, but just like it was like a hazy moment. I had to walk, went and get cold water because this is what Harvey Specter did. I'm not gonna spoil it ideally, but this is what happened. Um, he took pills. He went to the bathroom. Blah blah blah. I didn't do that. I went and got cold water. Cold water was not working, so I literally left the building, went outside. I had to walk up the block, and there's a what's that called again? Blah 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 blah. A YMCA pool, and that chlorine water that was coming out, that's what actually relieved me from that panic attack. Um, um, with that being said, let's talk. I have separation anxiety. Coming here at the young age of 5, came here April 22nd, 2003. My birthday was July 4th, as we know. and I was separated from my mom. I'm the youngest of four boys, so that separation was a tough one. Um, Separation of that one, I remember to this day. I actually don't like wearing shirts, so you guys seeing me in the shirt is like a rare occasion kind of deal. But this is also YouTube. I can't be on here, um, showing my nudity. So let's talk. I remember I was 5, and my mom and dad had an argument. I was in a t-shirt in briefs. It wasn't boxers, it was briefs. We got into an argument, and my dad said, "If I keep crying, I won't go on this trip." And he knows I love to travel. So with me being a 5-year-old, I had to make a decision to shut up, right? To be quiet. To be nice, right? To be quiet. So I took that initiative at 5, turning 6. Got here. Um, Majority of the 3 years I was here originally until 2006, I wasn't talking to my mom. That really bothered me. Um, and just like it was tough. So that happened, and it came to the point where I just cried for my mom. Got a beating. My dad was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Nothing." Typical things, kid would lie. And then obviously you're rolled over into my relationships. Me having anxiety, separation anxiety. I don't think my brothers don't do this. Me having separation anxiety. If I don't have certain um assurance, or like me having something that's of substance to hold on to, I would I would shut down. I'll nitpick things, have arguments, have disagreements, and I've gotten way better, way better. Um, and with that, like always growing up, someone always wanted something that I had, and it's it's always been like that for some weird reason. Um, I've always tried to go things about the right way, something of pure, of substance, something that someone else can benefit from, and it just always seemed like someone wants to take what I have. Um, let's talk. It's not as easy. Like I'm always smiling. I'm always smiling, and you say, "Oh my gosh!" Like people at work are just like, like literally today, literally on Friday, one of the guys said to me, "Carpenter foreman, you're just like, I've never seen you angry. Like you're always smiling. Like like when the guys are running headless, I'm calm and collective." Um, so let's talk. Like I'm always smiling, but I had a very bad temper growing up because I never used to let things out, and obviously they should pressure burst pipe because like all of it got built up. Um, at one point I didn't cry for like 3 years, and the time I cried was my great grandfather's funeral in 2017, and I knew something crazy was gonna happen because the person I was talking to, um, which is the second person in the book, her chapter is called "The Dancer." So I was texting her, and I'm just like, "Hey," like I'm numb, and when I get numb, it's just like, yeah, nothing good comes out of anyone going numb. So obviously, we know something was gonna go down. We got to this. We actually every like for some weird reason, only my brother got there on time because he was just like, "Yo, he's not waiting, right?" Knowing he's late. So there's one day he's basically early, and I'm there. Showered. It's Jamaica. It's August. It's, oh my goodness, sweltering heat, absolutely sweltering heat. Had to walk to the church his body was held at. Right, service already started. Got there, sat beside my mom. My brother was in the front. Right. So when we were there, um, the pastor was saying something, but I was talking to my mom because I just got there. I was actually outside with my dad. Took a shot of henny. Hey, don't do that. Um, and then I was no, that's before. That's actually after. But I just got to the church, sat beside my mom, and I was there talking to me. She was just like, "Yo, why you took so long?" And I'm just like, "Yo, I was taking a shower, and then I'm sweating because I hate the heat." So literally just showered. You know when you're rushing and you just shower, all that perspiration is running down. So that plus the heat wasn't a good combination. Plus I'm numb, so just like all these factors that's boiling over at this point, right? So over there, pastor was saying something, and he was just like, anyone like to say something? This is actually my grandfather's stepdad, but he raised him from about, I think, 27, and now my grandfather is 71 this year, but he passed in 2017. So you guys do the math. My grandfather, my great grandfather, he was 96 at the time, and what happened? He slipped. He slipped on my granduncle's, um they call it porch in America, but in Jamaica we call it veranda. He slipped on that, hit the back of his head. He had internal bleeding. They brought him to the doctor. The doctor wasn't as thorough, or if as they would here, of checking both inside and outside. It seemed like the doctor actually just checked outside. So back to the funeral. We're there. This is like, I grew up with my grandfather. Like, I'm in the apartment I grew up in for the 20 years I've been here. He's actually in his room right now. And this was the first time I ever seen this man cry. I know this man my whole life, but I've lived with him for 20 of my 26, right? So so I'm there. It's like the first time I've seen him crying. My brother was in the front row, so my brother went up, and I'm just like, I'm beside my mom. I'm just like, yo, I'm out. I went up there too. My brother's holding his I'm holding the mic, and my brother is consoling, like rubbing his back. So he telling a story, and after he finished, the pastor comes up again and say, "Hey, is anybody there wants to say anything else? Like, is there anyone else, right?" And then I was like on the last step. I just turned around, and like every time I say this, actually, my eyes get watery, right? So, case important now, right? So I pointed at the casket, and I'm just like, that man right there is a legend. And like I just started sobbing. Oh my goodness. I've never cried like that. My eyes are getting really watery right now. So I've never ever cried like that ever. And like everybody was art. Like every single person was crying again, on top of like the fact that, to know like this is the day of the funeral and stuff. Everyone started crying, and I told the story. The story I told was on Saturdays, because at this point I was like, the story was when I was back living in Jamaica, and we played soccer like every Saturday, right? So we went there. We went and played soccer actually beside my grandfather's house, which is in Jamaica. Played soccer there, and my great grandfather, his name is, we call him Grandpa. We call him Mass Bob. We call him Bob. His government name is Clement. His government name is Robert. So some records, like he put Clement, some he put Robert. So what happened next? So I'm there. I'm just like, yo, I'm thirsty. It's hot, and he always used to have Pepsi in the fridge. Like he loves Pepsi. He always drinks Pepsi and say, ah, like when it's harsh, I guess, like the citrus acid, and it hits you and be like, ah. And he's given every single person from A to Z Pepsi, and he always you know what I mean. So that's like the only reason I drink Pepsi, was like through him, and like since his passing, and like I was never a Pepsi guy, but when he has it, and when he was like alive and stuff, Pepsi tastes the best. But since I ventured out on my own, I'm a Sprite kind of guy. You get me? If you're a Sprite person, you know what the deal is. You get me? So I went in the freezer. It was a deep freezer. Went in the freezer, and I saw a big bottle of Pepsi, the liter bottle, I'm just like, yo, I'm about to turn this to my head. I did not. I don't think I didn't do a waterfall. I didn't. I did do a waterfall. I'm just like, yo, I can't leave that much evidence. You get me? Did a waterfall. Come to find out, it was bitters. So it was like bitter bush. I think it was Cersei. He boiled and put, but it was like so dark. I thought it was like it had the dark color of the Pepsi in it. It being in the bottle and it being in the freezer and everything, like it all mapped out. And I'm telling you, yo, that was the bitterest thing I've ever tasted in my life. I went and got candy that didn't work. Nothing, like I had that bitter taste in my mouth for like 2 days. And I told this story at the funeral, and everyone is just like sobbing and laughing at the same time. And in Jamaica, when you're a don, which is like a killer, when the ops is out, you gotta protect who the other, right? So I was in the back, and I was beside my cousin, and we just threw the casket up. Like this is at the funeral, the burial ground. Now we threw the casket up, and everybody was looking around, cause everyone, cause we have a huge family, and not everyone came to that funeral. So if everyone came, we got people in England, we got people in Florida, we got like all over the U.S. And like not everyone came, so um, everybody was looking around. Plus, we had the police escort and the whole 9 yards. So it was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Um, let's talk. Let's talk about how people ghost me. I feel like I work for Ghostbusters these days. Last person that ghosted me, I was like talking to her. I was just like, at this point I was in Aruba, and I'm just like, yo, um, no, I got back from Aruba, and I'm just like, yo, do you travel? And she was just like, no, but you would like to. So I was like, okay, that's nice. I'm just like, what's on your list? So she's like, Thailand and Japan. I'm just like, oh, that's dope. Those are actually on my list to go to as well. Next thing I know, Shorty deleted me. Actually unmatched me. So I'm just like, it's not always me, but it seems like it always happens to me. So I might work for Ghostbusters. Maybe, maybe. Let's talk. Hmm. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk. When I wrote this book was consist of three different relationships, and the title's called "I Should Cry More." I've cried more since the book, but it's not as dramatic. It's not. Sometimes I want to cry, and I'm just like, okay, cry, but it still doesn't happen. You get me? So it's just like, let's talk, because at the top of the stairs, you never know what I want to talk about. People force or like want me to be more vulnerable, but I have to ease into that because a lot of the I'm based on I love I will absolutely say love. I love being told no. I love the rejection because it's good. It's actually good for you. It's motivation. It should be motivation. You're supposed to get better. You're supposed to do more. It's giving you fuel to your fire, right? Um. So originally, I'm just like I wasn't going to do the book. I had all the material. Actually, was adding more as I went along, but I said, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. And I was biking. I'm sorry, this is what 2023. So maybe 2021 or something along that lines. I used to tell stories back in high school called The Moth. Actually, did told a story in front of like 500 people in a library in the city. Um, I saw one of the mentors like while I was riding to Prospect Park on a Saturday, and I saw him at the corner of the light on Flatbush and Parkside, and I saw him. I'm just like, hey, his name is Julian. I'm just like, hey, Julian, how you doing? And it's like, wow, this is like my sign to do the book, and then here we are. Remember the date, man. December 11th. Also my niece's birthday and also a friend of my birthday. So write it down, put it on your calendar, to-do list. Of course, I'll always remind you guys. Um, let's talk. Every piece I've written, it's a different version of me. Just like every painting I've done. Some painting I've done, and I'm just like, I don't like it, and it takes a while to for me to accept it, kind of deal. Because in that, when I step off the canvas and be like, hey, this is the finished product, it's just like maybe my everyday self looking at the piece is just like, hmm, it's time to like critique my own work as like an outsider. But sometimes I don't like it. Mm, sometimes I instantly do, but it being me having a different version, like a different hat. So each piece is basically a different hat or a different version of me. It's hard. It's hard because I can't even read my own pieces. Like this book was hard because the only time I ever read a piece, it's not in this book. It will be in a book at a later date. It's for my godson, and he passed away. Um, that was the first time I actually read something I've written in public. You know, and doing the book, I had to step into that zone, and it was hard, of course, because like I don't some of the pieces I don't remember, some of the pieces I do remember, and me reading them actually brings me back to the moment. Some of them are happy, some of them are sad, which is my mother. Like one is like my mother's touch. So like remember the experience I had with my mother. Um, writing about my I remember some of the experiences that I've been through of just like the separation anxiety when I had like a really bad temper. I have such a bad temper. I grind my teeth. Like the vice grip can hold on, like can hold on to as strong as I clamp my teeth down. Right. I have to sleep with a night guard. That thing costs $1,400. Can you believe that? Teeth are very expensive, so take care of your teeth because if you don't take care of your teeth, a lot of infections happen in your mouth and it just goes into your nervous system. So if you're always sick, make sure you go to the dentist and check that out because it's a like your gum line, your teeth, your canals, all that fun stuff. So the more you know, right? So all of that is it was this book was it was it wasn't hard. It was just stepping out of my comfort zone. And comfort kills, man. Always remember that comfort kills and stress kills. So let's talk. Let's talk. Don't sit and waller in your tears. Always be active. Be be comfortable. Well, be comfortable in the uncomfortable. Be comfortable in uncomfortable situation. Or get comfortable. Be comfortable in uncomfortable situation. We're gonna go with that, but I don't think that's the correct line, right? So let's talk. Let's talk. This is a very good one. This is the last one I'm gonna leave with you guys. Let's talk about how some women, not women, they are young women I've interacted with that have been in prior relationship, but no one, n- no one has been in a relationship to meet someone of my stature. They said comparison is a thief of joy. I'm not comparing. I'm stating facts. I'm not comparing. So hear this one, right? A lot of people are in relationship, but they don't really get anything out of the relationship, right? So one, a lot of people are in relationships and they don't know how their partner thinks. how they feel, can teach them anything, and ultimately stop growing after a certain period of time. I've always had this concept of just making sure that I feel like we're trees. People are trees, and no matter what, even if a tree is dead inside, even if a tree is dead inside, each spring, we still spring, or spring, they still spring, whatever. They still bring forth green leaves, even if they're dead inside. So you can be going through depression, anxiety, but guess what? You still have room to grow, to be better, and your green leaf, or like you making the effort, can help someone else get get through what they're going through, and it would make everyone flourish. So I feel like one of the things in life is to help each other grow. Like you interact with different people so you can get different type of nourishment. Like I look at life like this. I'm the president, or I'm the leader of my life, right? I have people around me to help me to do things that I can do, but I'm not the best at. So when I was doing a book, I called up on my friend that's she understands my personality, she understands my words, but I wanted a woman's touch to certain things that I was saying. So her asking me certain questions while we were editing the book brought out a more insightful thought on what needs to be added or what needs to be taken away from a piece, right? I have friends that help me navigate to say, hey, what what kind of, like, as easy as this, what kind of where do I want to travel to? Like, what am I in the mood for? I have friends like that, right? I have friends like to bounce ideas off of, to make sure that, hey, I know you're a brother to me, you're a sister to me, but if I'm going through a situation with anyone or anything, and I feel like consciously something is bothering me, and I ask them, I go to them for like a second opinion kind of deal to say, hey, although you're on my side, you can still tell me right from wrong based on my decision and based on what I've done. I don't want any yes men, yes women, none of that around me. I want every day, every person to help me get better. So let's talk. I should cry more. And welcome to the maze. Welcome to the maze. A lot is going to be said, a lot is going to be done. Remember the date, December 11th. It is a Monday. This book is going to be a good one. Going to be a very, very good one. And guess what? I'll see you. I'll see you very soon. Be blessed. Don't stress. Drink some water and take care of each other. Hey, Kanye even said, I love you like Kanye love Kanye. Well, I love you more than you know it, and you should stop being so hard on yourself, because I do the same thing. Live a little. You can cry, because crying is healthy, but make a plan, stick to it, and let's get better together. Merry Christmas.